Life needs a clear blueprint, not a rushed or random plan. Too many people move through life reacting instead of designing, surviving instead of building. They wake up each day responding to circumstances, expectations, and pressures without ever asking themselves where they are truly going. A blueprint gives direction before confusion appears. It allows you to move with purpose instead of panic, with intention instead of impulse. Without a blueprint, life becomes a series of accidents rather than a meaningful journey. A blueprint begins with self-awareness. You cannot design a life you have not taken time to understand. This means being honest about your strengths, your weaknesses, your passions, and your fears. It means asking difficult questions. What matters to me? What kind of legacy do I want to leave? What principles am I unwilling to compromise, no matter the cost? These questions are not answered in a single moment. They require reflection, patience, and courage. But once answered, they form the lines that shape your future. A rushed plan often comes from pressure to succeed quickly, to match someone else's timeline, or to prove your worth to the world. But a blueprint is not built to impress others. It is built to sustain you. When you rush, you build on weak foundations: comparison, ego, fear of failure, or fear of being left behind. These foundations crack under pressure. A clear blueprint, on the other hand, is rooted in clarity and purpose. It may take longer to design, but it holds firm when challenges arise. Having a blueprint does not mean every detail of life is predictable. It means you know your direction even when the road changes. Life will surprise you. Opportunities will appear unexpectedly, and obstacles will test your resolve. A strong blueprint helps you make decisions in uncertain moments. Instead of asking what is easiest right now, you ask, does this align with the life I am building? That question alone can save you years of regret. A blueprint also brings discipline. When you know what you are building, you learn to say no to distractions that look attractive but lead nowhere. Not every opportunity is meant for you. Not every door should be open. Without a blueprint, you chase everything and finish nothing. With a blueprint, your energy becomes focused. Your time gains value. Your efforts start to compound instead of scatter. Most importantly, a clear blueprint gives you inner peace. You stop measuring your life by other people's success. You stop feeling lost when progress feels slow. You understand that growth is not always visible, just like the early stages of construction. Foundations are built underground, unseen, but they determine the strength of everything that follows. When your blueprint is clear, you trust the process even when results are delayed. In the end, life rewards intention. A random life may experience moments of happiness, but an intentional life creates lasting fulfillment. Do not allow chance, fear, or society to design your future for you. Take the time to draw your blueprint carefully. Build it on truth, patience, and purpose. Because when storms come, and they will, you will not be asking where you are going. You will already know. Character and values are the foundation of lasting success. Everything you build in life rests on who you are at your core. Skills can open doors, talent can create opportunities, and intelligence can speed up progress. But only character determines how long success lasts. When values are weak or unclear, even the greatest achievements eventually collapse. When values are strong, even small beginnings can grow into something meaningful and enduring. Character is revealed in moments when no one is watching. It shows up in how you treat people who cannot benefit you, how you respond to pressure, and how you act when taking shortcuts would be easy. Values are not proven by words or public image. They are proven by consistent behavior. A person with strong character does the right thing even when it costs them comfort, approval, or temporary success. That kind of integrity builds trust, and trust is one of the most powerful forces in any area of life. Lasting success is never built on deception, arrogance, or selfish gain. Those paths may produce fast results, but they come with a hidden price. Sooner or later, shortcuts demand repayment through broken relationships, damaged reputation, or inner emptiness. When success is not supported by values, it becomes fragile. One mistake, one exposure, one crisis is enough to bring everything down. Character acts like reinforcement beneath the surface, holding everything together when pressure increases. Values also guide decision-making. Life constantly presents choices, and many of them exist in gray areas where the right answer is not obvious. In those moments, values act as a compass. They help you decide not just what is profitable, but what is right. When your values are clear, decisions become simpler. Even if they are not easier, you may still face loss or difficulty, but you gain clarity and self-respect in return. Another powerful role of character is resilience. People with strong values do not break easily under failure. They take responsibility instead of making excuses. They learn instead of quitting, because their identity is rooted in principles, not outcomes. Setbacks do not destroy them. Failure becomes feedback, not a verdict. This mindset allows them to grow stronger while others give up or lose direction. Character also shapes leadership, whether you lead a team, a family, or simply your own life. People are naturally drawn to those they can trust. You do not have to demand respect when your actions consistently earn it. When your words match your behavior, your presence carries weight. Influence built on character lasts far longer than authority built on position or fear. Most importantly, values protect your inner peace. Success without character often comes with anxiety, the fear of being exposed, replaced, or surpassed. But when your success is built on honesty and effort, you can stand calmly. You know who you are. You know what you represent. That confidence is quiet, but unshakable. In the end, achievements may fade, titles may change, and circumstances may shift, but character remains. If you want success that lasts, begin where it truly starts. Build your life on values that cannot be bought, shaken, or compromised. Because when the foundation is strong, everything built upon it has a chance to stand the test of time. Integrity and self-respect guide choices when no one is watching. The most important decisions in life are often made in silence, away from applause, judgment, or recognition. In those private moments, your true self takes control. There is no audience to impress and no reward to chase, only your conscience and your character. What you choose at those moments quietly shapes the direction of your entire life. Integrity means being whole, not divided. It is when your thoughts, words, and actions align, even when alignment costs you something. It is easy to appear honest when honesty is convenient, but integrity shows its true strength when dishonesty would bring quick benefit. In those moments, you decide what kind of person you are becoming. Each choice either strengthens your inner foundation or weakens it, one decision at a time. Self-respect is closely tied to integrity. When you betray your own values, you may gain something externally, but you lose something internally. That loss is subtle at first, but it accumulates over time. Ignoring your standards leads to doubt, guilt, and a quiet sense of dissatisfaction. On the other hand, when you honor your values, you build confidence that does not depend on approval. You can stand alone without feeling empty because you know you have not abandoned yourself. When no one is watching, excuses feel easier. You can justify cutting corners, staying silent when you should speak, or choosing comfort over responsibility. But private choices never remain private forever. They shape habits, and habits shape character. What you repeatedly do in small, unseen moments becomes who you are in visible ones. Integrity in private creates consistency in public. Integrity also brings clarity. Life often presents morally complex situations, but when your standards are clear, your path becomes simpler. You may still struggle emotionally, but you will not be confused about what is right. This clarity reduces inner conflict. You are not constantly negotiating with your conscience or defending your actions to yourself. You move forward with peace, even when the road is difficult. Self-respect fuels discipline. When you value yourself, you do not settle for actions that contradict your principles. You resist temporary pleasure that damages long-term growth. You choose effort over excuses, honesty over shortcuts, and patience over impulse. These choices may not bring instant rewards, but they create a life you can respect when you look back. In a world that often celebrates image over substance, integrity becomes a quiet strength. You may not always be recognized immediately, but you will always be trusted eventually. Trust is earned slowly and lost quickly, and integrity is the only reliable way to build it. People may doubt your talent or question your ideas, but they will rarely doubt your character if your actions remain consistent. At the end of the day, you live with yourself longer than anyone else does. When the noise fades and the world goes quiet, integrity allows you to rest without regret. Self-respect allows you to move forward without shame. And those two qualities, practiced when no one is watching, become the guiding force behind a life built with purpose, strength, and lasting meaning. True greatness comes from excellence in everyday work. Many people wait for a big moment, a perfect opportunity, or public recognition before they give their best. They believe greatness is something dramatic and rare, reserved for a chosen few. But real greatness is built quietly, through consistent effort in ordinary responsibilities. It is not created in spotlight moments. It is formed in daily discipline. Everyday work may seem small, repetitive, or unnoticed, but it is where character is trained and standards are set. How you approach routine tasks reveals how you will handle major ones. If you treat small responsibilities carelessly, you will treat large responsibilities the same way when the pressure arrives. Excellence is not about the size of the task. It is about the mindset you bring to it. When you decide that whatever is placed in your hands deserves your best effort, you begin to separate yourself from the crowd. Excellence requires pride in effort, not ego in results. It means doing quality work even when no one praises you, corrects you, or rewards you. Many people perform only at the level required to avoid criticism. Excellence goes beyond that. Ask, how well can I do this? Rather than, how little can I get away with? This attitude transforms ordinary work into meaningful progress. Consistency is what turns excellence into greatness. Anyone can work hard for a day or a week. Greatness is built by those who show up with the same standard again and again. There will be days when motivation is low and energy is limited. Excellence does not wait for motivation. It relies on commitment. By maintaining high standards, even on difficult days, you build reliability, and reliability creates trust. Excellence in everyday work also sharpens skill. Mastery does not happen through occasional effort. It happens through repetition with intention. Each time you focus on doing something well, you improve slightly. Over time, those small improvements compound. What once felt difficult becomes natural. What once went unnoticed begins to stand out. People may not remember the exact moment you became great, but they will notice that your work consistently carries quality. Another powerful effect of everyday excellence is self-confidence. When you know you have given your best, you walk differently. You speak with quiet assurance. You do not need to exaggerate or seek validation because your confidence is rooted in effort, not opinion. This inner strength allows you to remain calm under pressure and focused during challenges. Excellence also creates opportunity. While others wait to be discovered, excellent work attracts attention naturally. Doors open not because of luck, but because quality is hard to ignore. Even if recognition is delayed, excellence prepares you for when opportunity arrives. When the moment comes, you are ready, not because you suddenly rose to the occasion, but because your daily habits trained you for it. Most importantly, excellence gives meaning to your journey. Life becomes fulfilling when you respect the work you do, regardless of its visibility. You stop measuring your worth by external praise and start valuing your own standards. This mindset protects you from discouragement and comparison. You understand that greatness is not a destination you arrive at. It is a way you live. In the end, greatness is not announced. It is revealed over time. It shows up in the quality of your effort, the consistency of your discipline, and the pride you take in doing things well. When you commit to excellence in everyday work, even the ordinary becomes powerful, and your life begins to reflect a greatness that is real, lasting, and earned. Titles and fame do not define greatness. Effort and attitude do. Society often teaches people to chase labels, positions, and public recognition, as if these things automatically measure a person's value. But history and everyday life prove something different. True greatness is not about how many people know your name. It is about how you show up in your responsibilities and how you treat the work placed in front of you. A title may give authority, but it does not guarantee respect. Fame may bring attention, but it does not guarantee impact. Many people hold impressive positions yet perform without passion, humility, or care. At the same time, countless individuals with no recognition quietly make a powerful difference through dedication and attitude. What separates them is not status, but mindset. Greatness begins with the decision to take ownership of your role, no matter how small it may seem. Effort is the great equalizer. You cannot control where you start, but you can control how much you invest in what you do. When effort is sincere and consistent, growth follows naturally. People who rely only on titles often stop growing. People who rely on effort never do. They understand that progress is earned daily, not granted by position. This mindset keeps them learning, improving, and moving forward even when recognition is absent. Attitude shapes how effort is applied. Two people can do the same job with the same skills, yet produce completely different results because of attitude. A positive, disciplined attitude turns challenges into opportunities and setbacks into lessons. A negative or entitled attitude turns small problems into excuses. Greatness requires humility, the willingness to learn to accept feedback, and to keep working without needing constant validation. When effort and attitude work together, they create influence. Others begin to trust you, not because of your title, but because of your consistency. They see that you take responsibility seriously, that you do not complain when things are difficult, and that you bring energy instead of excuses. This kind of influence lasts longer than authority because it is earned, not assigned. Fame is temporary, but character-driven effort leaves a legacy. Recognition can disappear as quickly as it arrives, but the habits you build and the impact you create continue long after attention fades. When your motivation comes from doing meaningful work rather than being seen, you remain steady. You are not shaken by criticism or distracted by praise because your purpose is deeper than public approval. Another danger of chasing titles and fame is comparison. When you measure your worth by external markers, you are always racing someone else's timeline. This creates pressure, insecurity, and impatience. But when you measure yourself by effort and attitude, progress becomes personal. You focus on improvement, not competition. You move at your own pace with confidence and clarity. In the end, greatness is not something you are given. It is something you practice. It is found in how you approach each day, each task, and each challenge. Titles may decorate a name, and fame may amplify a voice, but effort and attitude shape a life. When those two are strong, greatness follows naturally, quietly, and powerfully. A meaningful life includes serving and uplifting others. No matter how ambitious your goals are, life reaches its fullest value when it extends beyond self-interest. Achievement may satisfy the ego, but service fulfills the soul. When your actions contribute to the well-being of others, your life gains depth, direction, and lasting purpose. Service does not always mean grand gestures or public recognition. It often appears in simple, everyday actions, listening when someone feels unheard, offering guidance without expecting reward, or using your skills to solve problems that do not benefit you directly. These small acts may seem insignificant, but they create ripples that travel farther than you realize. A life focused only inward becomes narrow. A life focused outward becomes expansive. Uplifting others also brings clarity to your own purpose. When you help someone grow, you better understand your own strength. Service reveals where your abilities truly matter. It shifts your mindset from what can I gain to what can I give. That shift transforms ambition into purpose. Instead of chasing success for validation, you begin pursuing impact for meaning. Serving others builds connection. Human beings are not meant to live in isolation, and success without connection often feels empty. When you uplift others, you create bonds rooted in trust and respect. These relationships strengthen you during difficult times and remind you that your journey is not meant to be walked alone. Service turns strangers into allies and communities into support systems. Service also develops humility. When you focus on helping others, ego loses its grip. You begin to understand that everyone carries struggles you cannot see. This awareness softens judgment and increases compassion. Humility does not weaken ambition. It refines it. It keeps you grounded while you grow and reminds you why growth matters in the first place. Another powerful aspect of service is resilience. When life becomes difficult, purpose anchored in service gives you a reason to keep going. Knowing that others benefit from your effort adds meaning to sacrifice. You endure not just for yourself, but for something greater. This sense of contribution fuels perseverance when motivation fades. Uplifting others also multiplies success. Knowledge shared grows. Encouragement given returns. Leadership exercised through service inspires others to rise alongside you rather than compete against you. Instead of climbing alone, you build ladders that others can climb too. This creates impact that outlives individual achievements. Most importantly, service shapes legacy. People may forget what you owned or what titles you held, but they remember how you made them feel and how you helped them become better. A life devoted only to personal gain ends with personal limits. A life devoted to service continues through the lives it touches. In the end, true fulfillment is not found in standing above others, but in lifting them up. When service becomes part of your life's design, success gains meaning, effort gains direction, and your existence becomes a source of light rather than just achievement. Success without service feels empty and temporary. Many people reach goals they once dreamed of only to discover that the satisfaction fades faster than expected. Achievements gained purely for personal gain may impress others, but they often leave the achiever feeling unfulfilled. Without a deeper purpose, success becomes a hollow victory, loud on the outside, quiet and restless on the inside. When success is centered only on money, status, or recognition, it creates constant hunger. There is always a need for more praise, more power, more proof of worth. This endless chase can never fully satisfy because it is built on external validation. The moment attention shifts elsewhere, confidence begins to shake. Success without service has no anchor, so it drifts with opinion and circumstance. Service gives success meaning by connecting it to something beyond the self. When your achievements improve lives, solve problems, or create opportunities for others, success gains depth. It stops being just a personal milestone and becomes a shared benefit. This shared purpose transforms success from a moment into a mission. It lasts longer because it is rooted in contribution, not applause. Temporary success also struggles under pressure. Without service as its foundation, success is fragile. Setbacks feel devastating because identity is tied only to results. When loss comes, and it always does at some point, there is nothing steady to hold on to. But when success is connected to service, even failure feels purposeful. You understand that impact continues even when outcomes change. Another danger of success without service is isolation. As focus turns inward, relationships become transactional. People are valued for usefulness rather than humanity. Over time, this erodes trust and connection. The higher the success rises, the lonelier the journey becomes. Service reverses this pattern. It builds genuine relationships based on care and respect, not advantage. Service also protects success from arrogance. Without it, achievement can inflate ego and blur perspective. You may begin to believe success is owed to you rather than earned through effort and supported by others. Service keeps you grounded. It reminds you that no one succeeds alone and that every achievement stands on unseen contributions. When success serves others, it renews itself. Purpose fuels motivation. Instead of burning out, you find energy and impact. Instead of fearing irrelevance, you focus on usefulness. This shift creates sustainability. Success is no longer something you defend. It becomes something you share. In the end, success that exists only for personal gain fades with time and changing circumstances. But success rooted in service leaves a lasting imprint. It lives on through the people it helps, the doors it opens, and the hope it creates. Without service, success is a temporary high. With service, it becomes a meaningful legacy. Challenges test the blueprint, not destroy it. Stay committed and keep building. Every meaningful life encounters resistance. Difficulty is not a sign that you are on the wrong path. It is evidence that the path is real. If your blueprint has purpose and integrity at its core, challenges do not erase it, they reveal its strength. What matters is not the absence of obstacles, but your response when they appear. Many people abandon their plans at the first sign of struggle. They mistake discomfort for failure and delay for denial. But growth has always required pressure. Just as strong structures are tested by storms, strong lives are shaped by adversity. Challenges expose weak assumptions and force necessary adjustments. They are not interruptions to the blueprint. They are part of its refinement. Staying committed during hardship demands patience. Results rarely appear on schedule, and progress often feels invisible. This is where belief in your design becomes essential. When you trust the foundation you have built, your values, effort, and purpose, you do not panic at temporary setbacks. You understand that setbacks are moments, not verdicts. Commitment means continuing to build even when motivation fades. Challenges also teach resilience. Each obstacle you overcome strengthens your confidence. You learn that you can endure more than you thought and adapt more than you expected. This knowledge cannot be taught. It must be experienced. Over time, resilience becomes part of your identity. You no longer fear difficulty, you expect it and face it with calm determination. Adjusting the blueprint does not mean abandoning it. Life requires flexibility, not surrender. Sometimes a door closes to redirect you toward a better one. Sometimes failure reveals a flaw that needed correction. Wise builders do not tear down the entire structure because of a crack. They reinforce it. They learn, adapt, and continue forward with greater understanding. Challenges also clarify priorities. When life becomes hard, distractions fall away. You see what truly matters and what does not. This clarity strengthens focus and sharpens purpose. What once felt important may lose relevance, while core values become unshakable. In this way, adversity simplifies life and strengthens direction. Most importantly, perseverance builds integrity. When you remain faithful to your blueprint despite hardship, you develop self-trust. You know you do not quit when things get uncomfortable. This trust becomes a powerful inner anchor. It allows you to face future challenges without fear, knowing you have survived before and can do so again. In the end, a life worth building is not fragile. It bends, adjusts, and endures. Challenges do not destroy a well-designed blueprint. They prove it. Stay committed. Keep building. Because what stands after the storm is always stronger than what existed before it.